We begin with another Trump ally having his phone seized by the FBI. And it's someone you may have heard of, Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow, but also, the reason he's come up in these cases, a very well-known and rich public ally and supporter of Donald Trump, including in the big lie, the lies about the election, the lies about its results. He says the FBI stopped him and seized his phone.
We stopped to go through a Hardee's in Mankato, where I was born, in Mankato, Minnesota, and cars pulled up in front of us, to the side of us, and behind us. And I said, these are either bad guys or the FBI. Well, it turns out they were the FBI.
There you have it. He's talking about what he went through and gives you a little bit of a clue into how law enforcement works. They know where he is. They choose a place where they think they can make the best possible contact, and they take what they need to that they've had lawfully approved. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's had a front row seat in the Trump White House. He says the feds there, as you heard, took the phone. This comes after they seized the phones of other Trump aides, including one who admitted to the fraudulent elector plot right here on this broadcast. 7 Trump allies have had their phones now seized. This MyPillow CEO is kind of an interesting addition because it is mostly political leaders or lawyers who have what you might call a more formal role in working for Donald Trump. John Eastman released this video of the FBI seizing his phone. That was earlier in the summer. Now, the feds have used search warrants each time for each incident that we know of, and that means they got an independent judge or magistrate to approve it, that they already submitted enough evidence to show that there was at least a likely or probable suspicion about material that would prove a crime. Doesn't mean the person's phone matches the crime. It might be that they know about somebody else's crime. But it's still something you have to prove to a judge, and it's never a good sign if that's what the FBI needs from you. There are about 40 new subpoenas over the past week, according to New York Times reporting. That's the federal side. Then you have the January 6th committee in Congress. They have a goal now to do new public hearings starting by the end of the month, September 28th. Donald Trump has been attacking left and right. He's got more than one legal investigation he's facing. And he also found time to call Ashley Babbitt's mother, whose daughter was fatally shot during the insurrection, when you had all of those different standoffs, and you saw how much the insurrectionists were creating these different pockets of danger, and the authorities were overwhelmingly restrained, although that was a person who was killed, which is always a tragedy in a law enforcement scenario. But Donald Trump taking the side of arguing that the people who created the danger, who created the very environment that led to the kind of threats and risk that got the use of force engaged, that got Miss Babbitt killed, he's trying to take their side.
It's a terrible thing that has happened to a lot of people that are being treated very, very unfairly. We're with you. We're working with a lot of different people on this, and we can't let this happen.